What's going on, everybody, and what's going on, folks? My name is David, and I'm your host of this legendary podcast, the Deconstructing Topic Podcast. Well, you know what? We grab a topic and we just we deconstruct it, and that is why the name Deconstructing Topic Podcast. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well, and it's a beautiful day. I did say I'm gonna bring my podcast to a different level. It's gonna be just coming left, right. We're gonna be talking about it all. And today I got a good one. But before you listen to this wonderful voice of what we're gonna be talking about, once again, hit the like button. If you listen to this and you spend time listening to this podcast, it's very important that you hit the like button. People, for some reason, think that there's a little thumb or little thing that says like. There's a reason why there are people that are getting thousands and 10,000s and hundreds of millions or whatever it is, because people hit the like button. Now, obviously, you got to like the person, right? Come on, who doesn't like me? Come on, man. If you don't like me, then you got some issues. But no, hey, listen, welcome to my podcast. Today, it's a little beautiful video game review type of deal. And if you already know and you're listening to this podcast, what up? Raiders! Woo! Arc Raiders. Today we are talking about the wonderful game that is Arc Raiders. Did I say that you also could comment and feel free to let me know what you think about Arc Raiders? If you got it, if you don't, if you're thinking about buying it, whatever the case, feel free to comment and reach out. All my information, it's in my description. Feel free to, give me a little shout out, little donation. We got all that good stuff. But we make it happen. Arc Raiders. Let's go. What a game. I'd say that's what I could say. What a game. Arc Raiders is created by Embark Studios. My understanding, those are people that work with Battlefield and Battlefront. So we got some heavy hitters. We got some people that work in that beautiful studio that are doing beautiful things. They did that video game, The Finals. And once again, we have a video game festive here of Arc Raiders, because I got to talk about that game. And I'm going to try to, video game is something that I grew up with, and I, from time to time do enjoy it. It is my entertainment. As those people who watch movies, as those people who do this, we all grab a sense of entertainment. We got music. We got all this. Yeah, you understand? We always want to have entertainment. When it comes to the category, video games is something that part of my entertainment. And Arc Raiders. And I played it on the Xbox Series X. Reach out to me if you want my information, my gamer tag, all that. We could talk. We could play along a little something. But I'll be the first one to tell you about Arc Raiders. Now, it's Embark Studios. It's on the PS5. It's on the PC. It's on the Xbox Series X and S and all that good stuff. And I'm an OG, right? Not the OG, because, when it comes to gaming, and those people who are listening to this, you know what I'm talking about, OG. There's the old OGs with the extra O's and extra G's. But there's different levels of, we got the Pong OGs of gaming. We got the Pac-Man OGs. I'm from the Super Mario Brothers, Nintendo. I'm from that era. Mid-80s, 90s, 2000s, you already know. So I enjoy video games, but as I gotten older and mature and technology has advanced, we have gotten through Thuporia. I think I'm saying it wrong. If I am, I'm not going to edit this. But you know what I'm saying. We got a lot of good games have come out as developing PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and so on. And I'm one that I'm very specific on certain games that I enjoyed. It used to be sports, but then all sports games these days, how can I say, they don't make them as the same. I'm watching you, Madden. I got the two eyes. I'm watching you, Madden. So I got to find something. And, because of technology and the internet and because of the high-speed internet, you already know we got the fiber optics. We do a lot of gamings online. We do the first-person shooter. I got my eyes on Call of Duty, but Call of Duty, yeah, I ain't playing that game. I need a little bit of fix. And I am one that I'm OG from also the SOCOM days. Ooh, for those people who listen to my podcast and you just said SOCOM, like, PlayStation 2. What a game. So we got the SOCOM shooter, third person. You know where I'm going with this? So for some reason, I feel like there are games I love. I enjoy the Gears, the third person, so on. But sometimes there are games that I feel like I'm missing something. And then there are games that have hit the little spot. And for some reason, there's a game that I've enjoyed a couple of years ago, independent game that for some reason I enjoy, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying that, because it's gonna lead to Arc Raiders, and I'll tell you about Arc Raiders as well, because that's what the podcast is. But I'm just giving you the little introduction, walking in, walking out to Arc Raiders. Generation Zero. So Generation is a co-op game with robots, and it has like, I'm not gonna say it has. It is a 1980s kind of theme, kind of vibe, coming off the heels of Stranger Things, and Stranger Things being as popular as is, and it's just finished as was, where it's a, show you already know. But just to make a long story short on Stranger Things, it takes place in the 80s, and if you're an 80s baby, or at least you took a whiff at the 80s, you understand what I'm talking about. So Generation Zero is a co-op game. You can play by yourself, you can play with other people, and it has robots, they have, looting, and have shooting, and it have this, and it has, so it gives you a vibe, but it also gives you like a 1980s vibe, because I believe the game took place in the 80s, somewhere in Norway, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder if Embark Studio and that studio, maybe because of the vicinity, because Embark, I believe, is Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somewhere there. You know what I mean? But just for the fact that, Generation Zero was giving me like a good vibe, because you could play with other people, teamwork, it's you versus the machine, basically. But then I felt like there was something lacking. And then you try to kind of like get that sense, kind of like the Fallout. I love the Fallout series, like Fallout 4. I get Fallout 76, Fallout 3, Fallout for Las Vegas. I love exploring and all that. I love that. I love to be in a world that immerses me. But once again, with Fallout 76, I feel like I was missing something. And then here comes Arc Raiders. And I'm be the first one to say, I'm not a person to download betas or anything to that effect. No. But the fact that Arc Raiders, it took me a while. So my thing is this, and my story real quick when it comes to why I decided to start playing Arc Raiders, and then I'll tell you my thoughts, and we make it happen. I started seeing people on, that streaming online once Arc Raiders, the full game, came out, having fun. And I know a couple of my brothers out there, they were communicating. If there's one thing that I've played, especially with the game SOCOM, for those Navy SEALs SOCOM, it's multiplayer game. You need communications, you need comms to be talking to your buddy, like, yo, they there, yo, ooh, sniper, boom. You need all that good stuff. Arc Raiders, it's you and robots, so that's where the Generation Zero came in. It's a PvPvE game, meaning that you in a lobby or a server with different people, different cats, all over the place in this servers, you, robots, looting. But the fact that, sometimes in Arc Raiders, you can get to shoot the other players as well, non-teammates, obviously. And that's another topic, but I just want to tell you that there's this nostalgic feeling about Arc Raiders. And I started to see the communication was like, wow, you really communicate even with people like strangers, even in the same servers, what they call proxy chat, where you have someone else, a stranger, someone that is not your teammate but in the same server, and if they're closer, you can have a conversation, you can help each other, no shooting, you already know Raiders, you already know what I'm talking about. I'll be like that 95% of the time, don't shoot, I'm just trying to do something here. But the fact that Arc Raiders, it breeds this sense that there's always something going on. And it gives you like 5 different maps, if I'm not mistaken. And each time it feels like you're playing a different game because it's something different. Now, the object you do looting, let's say, I'll give an example. I got this gun. This is weapon A. In order to make weapon A1, weapon A2, I need to do, some looting, need to find this, random items, whatever it is. Crafting, I love crafting. In the Fallout series, I was a crafter. I enjoyed grabbing different parts of things, recycling or whatever it is, doing my thing to make my weapon better. So next time around, I jump in and boom. But the fact that the aspect of communication, the way it feels, because you're fighting these robots, and I'll be honest, the game is crazy because the graphics of the game, and someone in YouTube said this, that the game, it feels like an experimental psychological game. And it's true. I feel the same way. That's crazy because there's times I'm playing, right? For those people who played Arc Raiders, you already know what I'm talking about. For those who haven't and they still thinking about it, do your thing. So I'm out there in the daylight. I got the sun and I see the sun rays and so on. Now that you got these robots with light, and there are times where I'm running to, let's say, a building because I need to find something there. Or I'm going to think that, hey, listen, let me see what loot I could find. And you see those sunlights and they basically beaming and you be like, that's the sun. The next thing you hear a robot like, weekoo, weekoo. I'm like, oh my goodness. Or sometimes you look at the glare of the sun or whatnot into your screen on the top right or on the top left and you think it's a robot and you just run. That's why I got my stamina up there. I got to run, but there's nobody there. You see how the psychological thing of how this game and the sound and the music and the robots, sometimes you hear a robot like, goom, goom. And I'm like, okay, this robot is mad close. But then you look at the map, the robot is mad far, but because of the sound, it messes up your mind. And that's why I'm like, you know what? I think it's true. I believe that there are people that sit down, it's like a psychologist or it's like, whatever, sit down and says, you know what? Let's mess around with people's mind and fear. And sometimes you get that fear factor that you by yourself in this building. And sometimes that's when you get the other raiders. Don't shoot. I'm friendly. Who might start helping you. And there's that sense of community as well. The last time I felt like this sense of community with other players that were strangers was Warframe. And Warframe, that's another beautiful game. But the fact that you get into this server by yourself, you're on a mission, you know what you need to do, you need to collect, you need to find. Listen, it's 50-50. I'm looking for this light bulb that I need to complete some mission there. And I got two, and all I need is one. It's hard to find. I'm like, and if I find, and let's say if I don't extract, because it is extract and shoot, if I did not mention that, then I'm gonna lose it unless there's a pocket. But I don't want to go in details of the game. I'll be doing that. I say that the game is 8. I'm gonna say that it's for the most part 8.5 out of 10. There are some certain parts that are missing, but hey, listen. When I bought Arc Raiders a couple of weeks ago, it was on little special. Even though the game is $40, it was on special, Christmas 32. Decided, you know what, let me get it. Let me cop the game. And boy, I love it. As an OG who enjoys communications, who enjoys community, who don't mind not killing people, but still be able to do something with other players, funny stuff, and help each other out, loot, whatever it is. And they give you that sense. The other thing too, this game for some reason, I don't know what it is. If it's a script, the algorithm, the AI, this game creates moments that I'll be like, I can't make this up. And for those raiders out there who have played this game, let me tell you this story, what happened to me. That's a lot of stuff that happened. So there's this extract, and there's this player that's down. Sadly, when you're down, you already know that you're crawling in the floor and you're trying to press the button so you could call elevators, so you could extract. Now, the player was down because he was shot by a robot. And I'm minding my own business. I'm like making moves, whatever it is. And I see that person crawling down and I'm like, Now, I don't have, and you already know what I'm talking about, what is it? We defibrillator to revive the person. I don't have that. And I'm over here communicating with the player on the mic, push to talk type of deal. Like, hey, listen, bud, I'm sorry. I can't help you. I'm almost running out of life. I open the door. I'm like, okay, I'm going to open the door. But, if you're running out of life and I'm over here, I had that person's life in my hand. And if I knock you out, you're done. You're going to lose everything. And I say, hey, if I find your loot, I'm good. But, it's going to, sadly. And I was just like, damn, I'm sorry. I think I'm going to have to do that. Then the next thing I see 2 players coming. Because once you press that extract button, it makes it sound like, woo, woo. So it alerts other players that are looking to extract. So be like, oh, okay, good. The elevator's about to open and so on. And I'm about to be out. And, what's interesting is that those 2 players come in. And one says, oh, I got you. But let me know how's your health because I'm not going to try to lose this. And then I'm like, yeah, man. And I'm looking at this scene like, all right, it's in your hands. It's out of my hands. I have no responsibility for that player. and I see the other player, and I'm thinking that, man, the other player is going to knock him down, is going to kill him and take his loot. And I'm like in my mind, damn it, I should have done that. But the next thing, hey, he revived the player because he asked the player, do you have enough life? Because if you don't, then I'm just going to kill you. If you do, and then, yeah, I got to do it. And he revived. He's like, you know what? Whatever. And that was a wholesome moment. And those Raiders, they extracted. I continued playing. And it's funny because we like, all right, good luck, Raiders. You know what? Appreciate you, Raiders. That sense and that moment of wholesomeness is something that this game, I don't even know if the game created forcefully or anything like that. It's just genuinely, it just comes very organic. And there are moments where I saw that when I'm extracting, and I'm saying to myself, hey, I'm like, there's a robot coming, and the next thing, I kid you not, there was like 3 other people that jumped in the elevator, and they're like, "Oh, thank you, sir." With some English language, you could tell they were not Americans. Or they just say maybe they play in another country, but it was just truly wholesome things like this that makes Arc Raiders so much fun, so addictive, so organically pure. And again, the way that this game functions is that it hit those things that if you're an OG like me, who enjoys the comms and who enjoys that, you know what, let me do something productive without being sweaty or playing with sweaty players. Unless you start killing players, they'll put you in the lobby with other sweaty players that they love killing. Or if you just like me, that 95% of the time, I'm just want to loot, grab stuff, and build myself to it and whatever it is that I got to do. But just the fact that this Arc Raider games bring those vibes, it hit those buttons, it hits it. Sometimes you might say, wow, let's just say I find 100 fans. Because there's a mission you need to find 100 fans. And you're like, don't you think that's tedious? The fact is that you might not find 100 fans each time that you play. And the fact that maybe 1 out of every 5 maps that you play, you find like 2 fans. I'm just giving an example. But just to get those 2 fans is like an adventure in itself. You gotta love it. That's what makes the game more different, because you just don't go to a place to say, oh, I'm going to farm for this and I'm going to find it, go back, do the same thing. That's, Warframe. I know it kind of suffers from that, but that's fine. I get it. That's part of farming. But the farming here is a little bit different. There are spots that you can find certain things that you can farm, and I love farming. And for those, you already know that farming is a thing where you need certain things or you're looking for something and you just go to the same spot over and over and over to find it until you find it, right? And this game, you could do farming. But again, there's no guarantee that if you are looking for 100 fans, that each time that you play, you're going to find 100 fans. Now, it might sound crazy, but it could be like those light bulbs. I need 3 light bulbs. And I play the game too. I put in work. For a week and a half, I put in work. I only find 2 light bulbs. And the event's about to be over. You know what I'm talking about. That event. The one with the candles, whatever it is. But you got to love Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is very different. I'm going to say that it's definitely not for everybody. But those people who have not played the game out there, take a crack at it. You know what I'm saying? Take a crack at it, because you might find something there that you might like. And I hope, maybe, that the powers that be in Embark, or maybe, I don't know if it's Microsoft or whoever, do either a free weekend soon, or something where you download it and you try it. I mean, I prefer, I think, the weekend, free weekend, to try it out, because, you'll get more plays. For those people who are kind of not into the extraction, you'll be surprised. Definitely very surprised. It exceeded my expectations. I said, look, I could one day give it an 8. There's one day give it an 8.5. The fact that when you succeed at extracting is the fun stuff that makes you keep going. I ain't gonna lie. There's a couple of times where I died. I lost all my loot, even some good blueprints you already know. Big robots, the leaper, the hooper, the whatever it is, the one with one eye, the one with lasers, all that. And I got discouraged. I'm like, you know what? And it's not discouraged that I don't like the game. It's just like, damn, it gets emotional. And when you get your burst, your bubble burst, trying to extract with something good loot, and then you just get being it, he deflates you. It breaks your heart. You'll be like, what? And then you log on like an hour later. That's Dark Raiders to you. But anyways, hope you enjoy this beautiful episode. Please feel free to share with your friends, with your family. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff, what's going on in this world, what's going on in this country, Venezuela, Minnesota, sports. We'll be talking about wrestling. We'll be talking about a little bit of everything, video games, as you already know, as we speak. We got a good one. Hopefully the next video game one I'll be doing either a SOCOM or a Battlefield. Stay tuned. But that's my reviews. 8.5 out of 10. It's a game that when you get it, you're definitely going to enjoy it. But we making it happen. You already know, Raiders. Let's go. Hollering at you. Much love to everybody. And in this case, especially my Raiders. You already know. I'm out. And stop being aggro. You already know. Peace.